rocks are falling from the sky. All right, we've got everything jacked up. Jack stands, wheel chocks. Got the jack still in place under a little bit of tension for safety. And the goal here is to weld onto there. This goes this way. So I need to clean this up, get the paint off, and it's going to go there, just like that. I've got some little bits of the old mount still on there. Right there, you can see that, and a little bit there. So I'm gonna do a little bit more grinding, get those little bits off, if I can get the grinder in there, and we'll get this cleaned up, and we'll get it welded in. Then we can put the transmission in. Got the bolts here. I got a new cross member piece. I've got new mounts, new piece for this. We'll get it all in there. Okay, I got excited again, and I got it stuck there. I got a tack in there. I did a center line. Let's see if you can see that. I'll zoom in here a little bit. See, there's a line right there. And I put a little notch on the center of that. I also marked across there. You can't really see those lines, but that's where it needs to be. I got it tacked in, and seems to be okay. I got a thunderstorm going over me right now. Well, a little rainstorm, some clouds. And I'm gonna get a tack on the other side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a weld. And I'll get that for you guys so you can see all of that happening. My incredible welding skills. They're getting better. So we'll get this in there so you can see that. I'll try and get you under there and get me under there, and I don't have much light because there's a little cloud coming over. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna get a little tack on this side also. Yeah, that's too much. Oops, well, okay. I obviously did not do the best job on my tack since it came off. Let's clean this up. Oh yeah, I missed. I had it, just wasn't great. I mean, it should have just welded it. Hi there, engine wires. Two back up there. Okay, what I did before. Okay, that's tacked on there now. I'm not left-handed. Okay, now we're tacked. I'm going to go ahead and weld this side over here. I'm going to do that from underneath-ish. Without a creeper, because there's no room. There we go. You need to be able to see it. I've got a tire. What is happening here? This is hat. Taking off the hat. Ah, it's the, there we go. All right, missed most of that. Good and hot though. That's a shitty weld. Turned off my mask somehow. Better, I'm not on fire. How am I missing that so much? Can't see. There we go. That's better. I'm a shitty welder. Look at the insides too. That'll be better. Probably bump this tripod. Yep, like that. Let's see where you guys are. I'll bring you back. All right. So let's get underneath here. The welds on the front side suck. That one is awful. That one, if we can get in there a little bit, there it is a little bit better. Problem was I had the mask turned all the way up. I couldn't see. I don't have as great of eyesight as I used to have. Still pretty good, but I could not see the seam there. But if you come underneath here, I turned the mask down a little bit where I could see better. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. I think that's a beautiful weld. I did a great job, and about equal on the other side. I can't get around there, there's jack in the way. But that's gonna hold. It's, yeah, here's a terrible weld. Oh my God. That one's pretty. I think that's pretty good. It's gonna hold. I can pick myself up on it. It's 3/16 inch steel. I went with the recommendations on my Harbor Freight $89 welder, which was high and 9 for the speed, and it did a great job, at least there. That's a good weld. It's a decent weld. I'm not gonna say I'm a great welder or anything, but that's gonna hold. The bolts here are in line with this part of the forks, which is what I want. They're parallel with that, not maybe in line, but they're parallel, which I think they need to be. So that's good to go. I'm gonna throw some black paint on there just to keep it clean. I'm gonna clean up the forks, and you're gonna come back with me and we're gonna put all the mounts and everything on the transmission and get that ready to go. So we've got our newish transmission here. This is a used one. No idea what condition it's in. It was in the back seat of the car when I got it. I think you saw that on the first video. But I've already changed over the clutch cable mount. I also bought a new throwout bearing. This is an older IRS transmission, not the newer style, so it doesn't have the guide. So I had to put that throwout bearing in there. The engine has that style clutch on it, so that works out pretty well. I've got another used grounding cable that I'm just cleaning up the ends on, getting those wire brushed off. Those go right here. That one goes right there, and the other end goes through the bolt on the mount, but I don't know if it has a big enough hole. So I'm gonna go over there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna go over there and check this hole and see if it fits on there. The other thing I've got here, that's not it, is I've got a new cross member piece. I'm gonna take this out of the plastic now, because the other one was bent and didn't want to use that. And so I'm gonna put that on, hold the transmission and the mounts. And I've got new mounts, the rear mounts and the front mount. And this is what we just fixed, was where this goes. That little rubber piece right there just goes inside that hole and it bolts on. This bolts onto the transmission. We'll do that here in a minute. And then these two guys go right here. And so I've got to get some of the nuts and stuff from the old mounts. That one goes there. So all that's going to get put on, and we'll get this all together and see if we can put this transmission in. Clutch cable goes on here. I've got a new clutch cable coming. We can put the old one on. Maybe I'll just save the new one, keep it for when this one breaks. I have no idea how old the clutch cable is on here, so it might be fine. But I already put I had to change out, I don't know if I showed this or not, I had to change out the nose cone here because this one has a reverse light. I don't know if y'all can see that. I want to have backup lights, and so the older IRS didn't have that on there, so I had to take it off the one that was broken and put it on this. I put a new gasket in there. It hasn't leaked. I haven't checked the level in this. I think I'll check the level before I put it all in. It's easier to put oil in it now than it would be later. I should do that. We got to drive to town anyway and get a couple things. So, but all this should be ready to go. We got this little guy right here, and I'll bring you back once I've got this all buttoned up. Well, this time I didn't push record. So I've got a transmission in the car. You can see I had to put on a new bottom mount. The other one was bent. It probably would have worked, but I put a new one on here. I still have to tighten these little bolts holding the mounts themselves. And got the clutch cable on and through the thing there. I need to get a boot for that. I want to keep water out of there, so there's a little rubber boot that goes over that ripped off. And I still have to put the axles on. That one's in the right spot and everything. And I got to figure the wiring out. I've got reverse lights that I don't know which wire's what back there. I got to hook up the starter. I did get the starter in there first, so I've got a starter in there. And I may even put the engine in this afternoon. I'm deciding what I want to do, whether I want to do the floors or do the engine. I've also got to decide if this was totally pushed in up here. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like that's the factory bend up there. Yeah, I had to bend the crap out of that to get it all back together so I could actually get the seal in. I'll put the seal in today as well. But we're coming together pretty quick here. Just need to get this stuff taken care of and an engine in here, and then I can start troubleshooting, get it started, and getting things together, and hopefully move. Also bought some brake fluid. Brakes are important, so I got to get the brakes going as well. So we'll keep working, keep plugging along here. I will definitely record the struggle to put the engine in. You'll get to see that. Don't worry. Okay, so we've got the transmission in. We've got CV joints, oops, on both sides, and axles hooked up. I got the starter hooked up, and I'm at a point now where here's the back of the car, here's the engine. I gotta turn the car around. Rocks are falling from the sky. Okay, we've got a Beetle up in the air. We've got an engine. I think I've got enough room to do this. And luckily, I've got a jack out of the way here. Maybe. Slow. I can't reach the jet. There we go. Little misalignment now. Too fast. Scary. Okay, we're down. Now I'm just going to move the engine up. Oh, some of this stuff probably I should take off. The hoses, hadn't thought about those. The heater hoses can come off. If some people take this back tin off, the problem I have with that is that it took me a while to get it on. exactly the right spot. Kind of tilt this back while I'm lifting it. Yes, no. Huh? There you go. That way. Close. Very close. Flashlight. Wow. Look at that. That bolt's right there. And wires in the face. Anything else here? I can't see. That one. Oh, that one's right there. Well, all things being equal, it's in the right spot. Hey, now my stand was hitting. It's an engine in a Beetle. That is super close. It's almost in. Gotta do all these crazy bolts and everything. Get it up and in. Oops. Carburetor necessarily. Super close. Oh. Tell you what, I'll get out of your way. And I'm going to tighten those bolts. Take you off the stand here. there. Gotta do some more alignment, gotta tighten up the bolts, but I am 50% there, something like that. We'll see, I'll bring it back in a bit. So we've got the engine in now, and I want to get it started. I've actually turned it over and it goes poof a couple times. So I want to get that actually running. And before I do that, I want to come up here and change this one last little bit of fuel line in there. I don't think you can see that. Let me turn on the light just a second. There you go. That piece of fuel line right there. I need to change that out. I've got some. Real easy. I'm going to put clamps on it. Putting clamps on all the fuel line so that it doesn't leak anywhere, at least from, you know, the hose. Might leak somewhere else, but I don't want to have an engine fire. So I'm going to sit you up and get in there and get this changed out. Okay, we got the new hose in. That took a little bit of wrestling. Those clamps, of course, you can't really get a screwdriver on there easy. I used a socket and little nub here. Well, I just took the shaft, the extension and socket, and just got my hand in there and got them tightened around the clamp, and I was able to get the socket in there and just tighten them a little bit. So a little 1/4 inch. This was a 1/4 inch. Where are we at? There we are. 1/4 and 1/4. Got on the clamps and they're on there. A little extra assurance. I know that the hose has held for 47 years or whatever on there, but doesn't hurt to have a little bit extra. So that's all set on there, and you can see all the brake lines going back through the car here too. I want to replace all those eventually, but I'm not there yet. But we're going to put some gas in and see what we can do with the engine. All right, so to get this thing going, we're going to do a real quick static timing because I've had the distributor off, and so we're going to spin the engine around here just by hand until we get to number 1. There's a little notch here in the distributor and a notch in the pulley here. Number 1 is top dead center right there. But this distributor is supposed to be 7 degrees before top dead center on this particular distributor. I'm going to make a guess. You know, I can guess where 90 degrees is, 45. You know, if we got that, 90 degrees, 45, 22 and a half. You know, 7 is going to be somewhere there-ish, which is fine. And I'm going to put a light on our distributor here, and I'm going to turn the distributor until the light comes on, and then we know that we've got a circuit here, and we're timed basically. So let me get my timing light, a little 10 mil wrench, so I can get off the so I can loosen the distributor, and then we'll do a little static timing here. Okay, so I'm going to loosen up the distributor. And I've got a little light here. I've got the key is on the ignition, so that gives us power to the coil. Put my clip up there on the coil. And if I ground somewhere, I get this nice green light here, and you can see that the distributor's already touching here, which is fine. We go this way, so now we just lost it. So I just turn this till our green light comes on. Now we've got contact there, so that means I'm timed to there. Yeah, so we're going this way, so I wanted to turn that way. Pretty sure. I'm thinking. What if I come from the other direction? Sure stays on a long time. There we go. I gotta think about this because if the rotor's going that way, whoo! I'll think about it for a second. And just so you know, some of this is a guess on my part because I haven't done this for a long time. I read about it. I just don't remember exactly how it's done. I haven't done this since well, the last car I had with points, which was a long time ago. So I've turned off the key. I want to get some fuel in here, just kind of prime it, and let's see what happens. Maybe we can start. Yeah. All right, dribble a little gas in. See what happens.